What's up, guys? Justin Kaplan Pro here, your startup business mentor and branding strategist. Today we're going to talk about video thumbnails. I'm going to give you a tutorial today of the best thumbnail maker for your YouTube videos. Plus, along the way today, I'm going to give you 6 golden rules for what makes a great YouTube thumbnail that will get you more clicks and more views. Creating video content is a tricky thing. Coming up with great content people actually want to watch is important, but the thumbnail is one of the most important elements to growing your YouTube channel and getting more views because it's the first impression. It's the first thing that people see, and it is what will drive people to click on and actually experience your content. If you can't nail a great thumbnail, you're automatically dealing with a disadvantage, and you're automatically wrestling against all the other people that are creating content like yours that are producing great thumbnails. So figuring out how to create great thumbnails is a very important part of the process on being successful in growing a YouTube channel. So that is why today I'm going to hook you guys up with the best thumbnail maker for your YouTube videos. All right, guys, if you're excited about this content, I would love for you to smash the like button, certainly subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, and drop me some comments down below along the way because I love your comments, I love your interaction, and I also certainly love questions. So if you have questions for me, please don't hesitate to drop those down below, and I'm happy to answer them. All right, before we get to the tutorial, let me start you off by giving you the 6 golden rules for what makes up a great thumbnail. All right, number 1 is to make sure you show that beautiful face of yours. All right, I've actually done some split tests on this, and I've seen a lot of case studies done on this topic, and surprisingly, people are much more apt to click on a thumbnail that shows the person that is teaching the video versus a stock photo or just a background graphic or just some generic image that doesn't convey the person. All right, your image is important. This is one of the things that I actually did wrong on my YouTube channel when I first started working to grow, is I did a lot with stock footage. I know how important emotions are in imagery, so I was always trying to find an image that conveyed emotion, and I was surprised early on that a lot of my videos did not have a good click-through rate, even though I had some, what I believe to be some great thumbnail images. So to figure this out, I started doing some split testing, and what I would do is I would create one video and I would create 2 thumbnails for it. I would create one thumbnail with a stock image that really powerfully conveyed an emotion, and then I would do another image that would be me in the video, like pointing or smiling or having some sort of an emotional expression that conveyed what I was teaching that day, and I would split test those 2 things and test the clicks, and I had almost triple the click-through rate on the thumbnails that had me in the image versus the thumbnails that conveyed a stock photo. All right, I think people just really want to know who the teacher is. They want to connect to you, so it's important to show your face. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can do this, 2 very easy ways. The first of which is when you record your video, you can simply take a snapshot of yourself in the video and use a snapshot of yourself from the video that you're actually creating. However, when you do that, sometimes the image quality is not really good. It can be a little bit grainy. So I recommend, if you have the ability to do so, is actually take your phone or take your camera and take an actual picture of yourself. Now, I do recommend wearing the same outfit for whatever you are using in the video so the 2 match, but you want to just give yourself an actual pose. Now, this is not going to be a complete tutorial on how to take great images with your phone or with your camera. It doesn't have to be crazy, just convey an emotion. So what I actually do once I get recording my video, what I actually do is I just record a very simple short video of me just making some expressions. So if I'm teaching in this format and I want to create a thumbnail image, I can just simply scoot over to the side and I can put my hands out here and go, and just record that for a second and then pull my video up on screen, and I can snapshot my screen and I got a thumbnail that I can use. And then if it's on my computer, I'll open up my photo editor, and 2 specific things, you can write these down if you're taking notes, that statistically increase the click-through rate of great thumbnails is 30% increase saturation and 30% increase in clarity. So if you have the ability to increase the saturation on an image by 30% roughly and increase the clarity of the image by 30% roughly, that statistically tends to lead to a higher click rate, FYI. So I take a snapshot of my video, I throw that up into an easy photo editor right on my computer, I increase the saturation, I increase the clarity a little bit, save it, and now I've got a great thumbnail image that I can use. All right, I'm also going to teach you later in this tutorial how to remove the background so it's just you, so how you can overlay yourself in front of a nice looking background with a lot of color or whatever. I'm going to teach you how to do that as well. All right, but golden rule number 1 is to make sure that you show yourself on the thumbnail. Okay, golden rule number 2, real quickly, is just to convey an emotion. All right, so emotions are powerful. Emotions are the driver of business results if you're taking notes. So when you do a thumbnail, don't just be like, you want to convey an expression. So it can be shock, like, or something. You can be smiling, happy, excited. You can be surprised. You can be like, oh my gosh. You can make whatever faces, but whatever topic that you're teaching, just make sure that you're conveying a powerful and very clear emotion that your audience can obviously see as they're swiping through, so that your image combined with the title, combined with the text on the thumbnail, really is like, I gotta watch this. All right, so emotions are powerful. Make sure that you convey an emotion. All right, that's number 2. Number 3 is the rule of thirds, all right? If you've never heard this before, you want to leverage the rule of thirds when you create your thumbnail. So if you imagine this widescreen format on a YouTube video, imagine dividing this in 3 different equal parts. And what you want is you basically want the image of yourself to fit on the right-hand side of the screen, 1/3 of the screen, and then you want your text to fill 2/3 of the screen. 1/3 your face, 2/3 the actual text. You want that text to really stand out, and you want your core text to make up 2/3 of the overall screen. All right, so follow the rule of thirds and make sure that that text is big, which leads me to point number 4, is bold, clear text. Be careful with fonts that get a little bit too artistic or a little bit too scripty. You want to make sure that when you put your text on your thumbnail that it's going to be quick and easy to read in a quick glance or a quick swipe. All right, so be careful with the type of fonts that you use, and make sure whatever type of fonts you choose that they're nice, big, bold letters that are really going to stand out and be read easily. All right, number 5 is use brand colors. I highly encourage you, if you have not already done so, to establish brand colors for yourself and have some consistency in the colors that you use. Colors are powerful, and colors definitely stand out amongst everybody who may not be using a lot of great looking colors. So bright colors, brand colors, consistency in your color scheme. Make sure that when you do your backgrounds and your lettering and all the things that you're doing, you can see that it's consistent and it gives a nice congruent visual that aligns with your channel branding and really shows people who you are and stands out amongst all the noise in there. Right, so powerful brand colors are important. The last thing I'm going to give you, number 6 of the golden rules to how to create a great thumbnail, is in the text of your thumbnail, support your primary topic. Don't repeat it. One of the things that a lot of people do wrong is they'll come up with this great title for their video, and then they basically just repeat the title of the video in the thumbnail. But when people are swiping through search results and they come across your video, they can read the title. They don't need to read the title and then see it again in your thumbnail. So what you want to do is you want to put text or wording or phrasing in the thumbnail that supports the primary topic but doesn't repeat it. So use some different words. So if my video title, for example, was how to grow a brand new YouTube channel fast, then in my thumbnail I could say 6 secrets you must know. So that thumbnail text supports my key message, and then I could be like, making a face like, oh man, I gotta know these secrets. So it's emotional, it's 6 secrets, it's exciting, but he's basically gonna tell me how I can grow a new YouTube channel fast. So that's an example, but make sure whatever text you put on your thumbnail image, make sure that that text supports your primary message, just doesn't simply repeat it, okay? So those are 6 quick golden rules for how to make a great thumbnail, what needs to be on it, and what it needs to consist of. Let's jump straight into Canva, and I'm going to show you how you can put together some of these thumbnails really quickly off of a free account and really make some thumbnails that are going to stand out and get your video some more clicks, all right? Let's go to the computer. All right, guys, so you're going to want to go on to canva.com, and you're going to want to set up an account if you don't already have one. You can set up a free account. There is a paid version of Canva that has some more features and functionality, but it's not necessary for you right off the bat. If you want to work off a free account to create your thumbnails, you absolutely can do so. Once you create your account, you're going to want to come up here and click on create a design, and then you're going to want to do custom dimensions, and you're going to do 1920 by 1080. That'll give you a high definition thumbnail that will work perfectly for your videos. Click on create a new design, and this is going to bring you into an open template that we can edit from and build from. All right, now what's cool about this, when you're starting from a blank template, you have all these options on the side. You can upload some photos, you got different graphic elements, text, music, videos, background, all kinds of different stuff over here. This is where you add all of your different arrangements. But what's cool is Canva starts you out with a whole variety of options for different layouts that you can start with and work from if you need a little bit of creative inspiration. So you can come down here and scroll through until you've seen one that you really like. Like, I actually really dig the color scheme of that one right there. So I'm gonna just click on this for the heck of it, and we can work off of this one if we wanted to. So I actually really like this background. If anybody had the opportunity to use this, this is pretty legit. I kind of dig it. So let's just start with this for a second. So the cool thing about these templates is that all of these features are clickable, movable. You can change the colors of all these different things. Everything on this thing is editable, all right? So for the sake of example, let's start out with a video title that I already gave you. So let's say we want to do how to grow a new YouTube channel fast. All right, let's say that that's our actual video title. So what I want to put in here is I want to do something in here that's going to support this. So let me get my text right, and then we're just going to move some of these components around. So let's say I want to say 6 secrets, and then this one, let's say I want to do that you've never heard. All right, so I've got this, and now what I want to do obviously is that text is probably a little bit too big. So what I want to do is I want to shrink this down a little bit so it's not quite so big. So maybe I go down to a 120, not quite so big there, and then I can take these, I can make the 6 secrets a little bit bigger, right? So maybe I can highlight this whole thing and I can center it. I can highlight this whole thing and I can center it. Now, obviously that box behind is a little bit distracting, so I'm just gonna click on that and delete it and get that out of my way so I'm not having to mess with that, because I really wanna kind of get this text right. And then now what I wanna do is I may wanna make these stand out, all right? So I can take the 6 secrets, for example, and I can come over here to elements, and I'm gonna just add a simple square out here. And then what I can do is I can put a square behind 6 secrets to make 6 secrets stand out. Now what I want to do before I go too much further is I'm going to click on that. I'm going to right click on the 6 secrets and bring to front. And that's going to bring that out to the very front. So then I can put this square background behind it and really make that 6 secrets stand out and really look good. And then what I can do is if I want to grab these lines, because I actually kind of dig these lines, I'm going to bring these lines down here and just kind of make these a nice little accent in the bottom. And then same thing, I can kind of leave these right here if I wanted to. Now what I want to do is I want to add an image. All right, so let me do an upload. Let me use this one because I've already used it before. But what's awesome about Canva is I can click on this image, I can click on effects, and then I can click on background remover, and that'll take just a couple of seconds, and that will completely remove the background from that image. So if you have the ability to take a picture of yourself, especially yourself with a blank background like a gray or a black or just a flat wall, you can easily remove the background from your photos, and then you can overlay yourself in here as needed. So I can right click on this one and I can do bring to front. So now I've got this awesome image that I can overlay, and I'm going to increase the size of it to make this a little bit bigger. Again, we want to convey emotion. Remember, we talked about emotion, and I know that I'm overlaying my lines. We'll mess with that in just a second. So I'm going to take my 6 secrets, and I'm going to scoot this over like that. I'm going to bring this over here, and then I'm going to take the that you've never heard before, and I might need to scoot that over to center underneath of it, and then I might grab my picture there and put that there. This is starting to look like a pretty awesome thumbnail. Now, obviously this kind of tealish blue doesn't really do it for me. So maybe I want to go red. Like that kind of matches the lipstick color. It kind of pulls from the color in the background. So if I want to do red, I could do the red. And then maybe if I want to send this back now behind my lines, maybe I want to do some red down here where I could put a little red line work in there if I wanted to kind of tie the red together. That's a way to kind of draw some stuff out if I wanted to. Or maybe that's distracting. So maybe I want to take this line work up here and drag it up behind her, for example, and then I can right click and bring her to the front and put her out in front of it if I wanted to. And honestly, the more I look at them, the more I just kind of don't like those lines. So maybe if you don't like the lines, just want to hit them and get rid of those, all right? You can do that as well. So if I need to get to those lines, I'm going to right click, I'm going to send her to the back, then I can hover over those lines and get rid of those all together. Because honestly, that's a pretty clean thumbnail right there. And then you feel like, you know what, Justin, I like the way this all looks, but I'm not crazy about the background. I can go to the background and I can play with a variety of different backgrounds for this thing. So maybe I want to do just a generic black background, which that actually stands out really, really good. You know, so you got some gradients in here. We can mess with a variety of different gradients to see what some of our gradient options are. Maybe I want to go really bright and colorful like that one. Or I could do a little more of a gray, a little more of a subtle if I wanted to. Of course, then I'd have to change that text. But I kind of dig that dark gray background. That looks really, really awesome. But that's a very clean thumbnail and stands out really, really well. Another thing you can do as well is you can add graphic images into this. So let's say I wanted to open up a new browser. Let me go to Google real quick. And let me look up YouTube logo, because we are talking about logo, right? So I'm going to YouTube logo transparent. and I'm gonna click on images. And then if you ever do this, if you're ever trying to find a logo, one thing that I recommend is click on tools and then click on size and then click on large. That way, whatever image you're gonna get is gonna be a good large image file that's gonna look good. So let me click on this YouTube. And if it shows up with these gray boxes behind it, that is a transparent image, meaning that the background has already been removed for you. So I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna save that. Now I'm gonna go back to my graphic and I'm gonna come up here to upload. I'm gonna do images, and now I can use a YouTube image if I wanted to. So let me throw this out here like this. Let me right click and send this to the back so I can grab it and mess with it. So maybe I wanna do YouTube right there. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna pull secrets up. I'm gonna pull that up there like that. And now I got my YouTube, and now I'm gonna do an arrow. So let me just come up here and type for search for elements, and this is gonna give me some arrows that I can use. So let me find an arrow that I like. Kind of like this swoopy one. So I'm gonna drag this out here like this. And then I'm gonna throw that right there. And then maybe I wanna make that red to make that stand out a little bit more. And obviously that black YouTube against the black background really isn't working for me. So I'm gonna go back to backgrounds and let me change that background to the gray. I think I did a lighter version. Yeah, let me change this then to black, just for the sake of what we're doing here. Black. Like that. 6 secrets that you never heard about YouTube. Awesome, right? So that's a super clean thumbnail. So let's say I want to save this. I'm done. That's one example, and we're going to go and grab another one, just do another one just to give you guys a couple different ideas. All right, but that's one download. If I say, you know what, I'm happy with how that looks, let me come up here to download. I'm going to click on PNG, which is what I want, and then I'm going to click download, and that's going to drop that out to my computer and give me a custom thumbnail that I can use. Let's go back to home and let's just do another one completely from scratch so I can give you another idea of something that we can put together, okay? So another way you can come up with some cool versions of thumbnails is if you click on create a design, instead of doing custom dimension, you can do a presentation. And what a presentation will do is it's going to give you a variety of different presentation templates that can also be really, really cool to work from, all right? So if I scroll down through some of these, like this one's actually really cool. If I click on this sales presentation, it gives me a bunch of different varieties and ways that I can leverage some of these different layouts and formats. So let's say I want to click on that one right there. Like I got some of these cool graphic features which in here are nice. So let me just click on, get rid of that. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this image. Let me start out with an image on this one just for the fun of it. Let me grab this one and throw this one out here. I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to click on effects. I'm going to click on background remover. Love that. Isn't that pretty? It's really cool how you can cut the background out so easily. I'm going to throw this up here. She looks happy. I can do something like this. I can even bring this little visual element down here. I'm going to send this to the back. I'm going to click on this one and send that one to the back. So now she's above in front of this one, but then this one comes down over top of her, which is kind of cool looking, all right? And let's say this particular video is going to be how to live your best life now. 3 success secrets. Something like that. All right, so let's say that's our title. So now on the thumbnail, I may want to say, what are you waiting for? So let's find ourselves a text that we can roll from. All right, so let me start with this one. I'm going to get rid of sale, and I'm just going to start with huge. And we're going to say, what? Like that. Obviously, yellow looks terrible with this, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a second. And then I'm going to go off this sale. And I'm going to left justify that. And then I'm going to bring that text size down because I know that's going to be too big. And let's say, what are you waiting for? Exclamation point, question mark. So now let me take a box behind this. I'm going to do an element. And I'm going to do a square. Like this. I'm going to bring this to the front so I can get it in front of it. I'm going to take this box. I'm going to stretch it all the way across. I'll put that behind it like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that box that teal color, like a light blue color. So maybe I do something like that, or even like that. And then what's cool too is I can also click on this transparency, and I can change the transparency if I'd like to make that partially see-through but still make that text stand out. All right, so I'm gonna make this text just a little bit smaller. I'm gonna call this a 130, and I'm still gonna bring that over like this. I'm gonna bring this element forward to overlay that like that. So we got some different layers to mess with. Get this balanced with that coming across. Then I'm going to change this text color to white. See what that looks like. That's not bad. Actually, doing all this text white might look good. Let me make it all white. Actually looks kind of good. Then I can take these little graphic elements if I wanted to, and I can change these to the blue color if I wanted to. You got one down here. You know, I can change this one to blue. I could even take this little blob, whatever this is, and I can kind of bring this up and overlay it forward. So there's all these different layers going on. That's a cute little thumbnail, isn't it? I think that actually looks super, super good. Now maybe I want to change the background. Let me just mess with the background color real quick. Let me just go down to all of them. I mean, I could go real bold, like something like that, but I think that's a little too crazy. I could do something like this. Like, that's super colorful. Like, isn't that super colorful? It's really, really crazy. Maybe that's too much for you. I don't like all the blue tones on this one. You could just go a white, like a marble background, but then you got too much white on white. But then, you know, if I want to do something like this, I could take this. I could make this the solid blue if I wanted to, like that. And then I could take this blue and completely eliminate the transparency, so that's solid. And then what are you waiting for with that one? I still think the other version was a little bit more classy. It's actually really pretty. So a couple different ways, variety of ways that you can mess with this. And again, you've got your title, and once you're done, you're gonna go ahead and click download that, and save that as an image. Guys, so that's just a couple different ways that you can use Canva. Hopefully that was helpful for you. What I'm showing you are just really some basics, but I want to just give you a good idea of how you can leverage the different backgrounds, the different fonts, the different colors, and the different ways that you can really put together a fantastic video thumbnail. Again, remember those 6 golden rules for how to create a great thumbnail. Those things are really, really important. You want to definitely be on brand with how you present yourself and make sure that the thumbnails that you're creating align with the content that you're creating and align with the look that you really want to present for yourself. All right, but have a little fun with Canva. Try some of that stuff out. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. If that was good for you guys, go ahead and smash that like button. Certainly subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, and be sure to drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this video. I love your feedback. I love your interaction, and hopefully that was good for you. All right, take care. God bless, guys. I appreciate your time and attention, and I'll see you all around the web. All right, see you guys later.